You're at a dinner party or maybe a meeting at work. The vibe is good, everyone's happy.
Sounds good so far.
But then someone tells a story, they get to the punchline, the end of the joke, and the whole room just explodes.
A total eruption of laughter.
Exactly. Everyone is losing it. Everyone is laughing, except you. You're just standing there kind of freezing with that polite, frozen smile on your face, thinking, I have absolutely no idea what just happened.
Ugh, that is such a visceral feeling. It feels so isolating. And I want to say right up front, this is not just a learner problem. This happens to native speakers all the time. It happens to me.
Really? It happens to you?
Of course. You zone out, you miss a reference, or you just don't find it funny. But when you're learning English, that internal voice is different. You don't think, oh, I missed that. You think, my English isn't good enough.
Right. It triggers that feeling that you don't belong in the room, but usually it has nothing to do with your vocabulary level. It's more about social dynamics. So today, we aren't just giving you a list of words. We're trying to build a kind of social toolbox.
We want to give you the specific phrases and strategies to handle the silence, the confusion, and even the sarcasm.
We're going to cover the whole spectrum, from the simple I didn't hear you moments to the complex I don't get the cultural reference moments, and even how to handle it when you're the one who told the joke and nobody laughed.
Oh, that's the worst one. We call that bombing.
But let's start with the most basic situation. Situation number 1, the I just didn't hear you moment.
Okay, this is the easiest one to fix. Picture this. You're in a busy restaurant or a bar. The music is loud. People are clattering plates. It's just noisy.
Okay, yeah, I can picture it.
Someone speaks to you, but the sound just didn't reach your brain. You aren't confused by the grammar. It was just noise.
And the temptation here is to panic and just pretend you heard. You just nod and smile. But that's a dangerous game.
It is so dangerous. If they asked a question and you just nod and smile, you might have just agreed to help them move apartments on Sunday.
Or worse, agreed to pay for dinner. So you need a strategy to fix it. Now, the classics are always safe, right?
Yes. Sorry. Or pardon. With a rising intonation. They're perfect. Sorry.
But I do hear a lot of learners use what I call the danger words.
The danger words, you mean what and huh.
Yes, exactly. What and huh. Why do we need to be careful with those?
Well, because in English, what can sound surprisingly aggressive. It's very blunt. It can sound like, what's your problem? Or even, why are you bothering me?
It carries a lot of attitude.
It does. And just sounds a little too informal, maybe almost dismissive. You might say it to your little brother, but you definitely couldn't use that with a boss or someone you just met.
So if we want to sound natural but polite, like a native speaker who just missed a beat, what's the upgrade? What should we say instead?
The phrase I really love is, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that. I like the image there.
Right. It treats the words like a ball that was thrown to you. You're not saying, you speak poorly. You're saying, I failed to catch the ball. It takes the blame on yourself, which is very polite.
It just softens the whole situation. I didn't catch that.
And if the environment is the problem, you should say that. You could say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. It's a bit loud in here.
That's a key distinction. You're blaming the room, not your ears or their accent. Now, what if the volume is fine, but the speed is the issue?
Oh, the speed. This is a big one.
A lot of learners are terrified to ask people to slow down because they think it makes them look, I don't know, slow or stupid.
But it's actually a power move to ask for what you need. The trick is how you phrase it. Don't just say slow down. That's a command. It sounds bossy.
So what do we use instead?
You can use a mind construction. Would you mind speaking a little more slowly?
Would you mind? That's the magic key.
It turns a command into a favor. Would you mind speaking a little more slowly? It shows you're invested. You want to understand them, so you need them to adjust.
Okay, so we have I didn't catch that for hearing. Let's dial up the difficulty a bit. Situation number 2, the I heard you, but I don't understand moment.
This is different. The room is quiet. You heard every single syllable perfectly, but the meaning, 0.
The words are clear, but the logic is just gone. You're standing there thinking, I know what blue means, and I know what moon means, but I don't know why we are doing something once in a blue moon.
Idioms are so often the problem here. So we need phrases that signal a gap in logic, not hearing. The casual go-to is simply, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yep. In this context, get just means understand. It's very, very common. I don't get it.
But what if someone is telling a really long, winding story? Maybe they're talking about their vacation and they keep switching topics.
Then you can use, I don't follow.
I don't follow. That's interesting. It implies a path, right?
Exactly. A conversation is like a journey or a path. If you say, I don't follow, you're saying, you turned left, and I'm still standing back at the intersection.
It's a really gentle way to interrupt the story without being rude. You're just asking them to come back and get you.
Now, sometimes the topic itself is the barrier. Have you ever been in a meeting where people start talking about advanced coding or, I don't know, technical engineering?
Oh, all the time. My brain just shuts off. It's not a language barrier. It's a complexity barrier.
We have some great idioms for that feeling. My favorite is, it's over my head.
It's over my head. I love the visual of that. The information's just flying through the air, but it's too high for me to grab.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a humble way to admit the topic is just too technical. You aren't saying, this is stupid. You're saying, I'm not equipped for this specific topic right now.
Another one you hear a lot is, it's all Greek to me.
Which is funny, unless you're actually Greek, I suppose.
I guess if you're Greek, you might say, it's all Chinese to me. But yeah, it's all Greek to me means it looks like a code I just cannot break.
So you've admitted you're lost. But you don't just want to stay lost. You want the information. How do we pivot from I'm confused to teach me?
Right. You need to ask them to explain it simply.
The best phrase for this is, could you break that down for me?
Break that down. That's a phrasal verb.
It is. It means take this complex idea and smash it into small, easy pieces. It's really common in business settings. If a strategy is too vague, you say, can we break that down?
It makes you sound proactive. You're not passively confused. You're actively seeking clarity.
And a softer, more general version is simply, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Or what do you mean by that?
Okay, let's move to the social minefield. Situation number 3. The missing joke. Specifically, pop culture.
Oh, this is the cultural literacy gap. This is a really hard one.
You can study English for 10 years, have perfect grammar, memorize the dictionary. But if you haven't seen the movie Star Wars or the show Friends, you're going to miss the joke.
And native speakers are obsessive about quoting movies. It's like a shorthand for connection. When you don't get the quote, you feel like an outsider.
So what's the strategy here? Do we just fake laugh?
No. I am strictly anti-fake laugh.
Really? Not even a little chuckle just to blend in?
The risk is too high. If it was a sarcastic joke and you laugh sincerely, you look weird. If it was a sad reference and you laugh, you look mean. Plus, fake laughter usually sounds fake. It doesn't build a real connection.
You recommend the honest approach.
Just own it. Say, I don't get the joke. Is that a reference?
That's brave, but I guess people actually like explaining their favorite things.
They love it. If you tell someone, I've never seen Star Wars, explain the joke, they will be thrilled to explain it to you. You've just turned a moment of ignorance into a conversation starter.
There's also a specific tactic I call the check. If a sentence sounds grammatically weird or just out of place, it's probably a quote.
Right. If someone suddenly changes their voice or uses some weird slang, just ask, is that from a movie? Or is that from a TV show?
Oh, well, let's test this. I'm going to set you up.
All right, I'm ready.
How you doing?
Is that from a movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
See? It works. No, it's from a TV show. It's Joey from Friends.
Okay, so in a real conversation, I'd say, oh, I haven't watched that yet. And now, instead of this awkward silence, we're talking about TV recommendations.
Exactly. It bridges the gap. But we have to be realistic. Sometimes you're at a party, it's 11 p.m., you're tired. You don't want to lecture on Star Wars. You just want to survive the moment.
That's fair. Sometimes you just don't have the energy.
In that case, what do we do?
You use the let it go strategy. You smile, you give a little shrug, and you say, I don't get it, but okay.
I don't get it, but okay. It's friendly. It's kind of dismissive, but in a warm way.
It signals to the group, I missed the bus on that joke, but you guys go ahead without me. It keeps the whole flow moving.
Now, speaking of things that are easy to miss, we have to talk about Situation 4, British humor.
Oh, the British. And actually, this applies to a lot of English speakers, Australians, Irish, many Americans too. It's a specific style called deadpan.
Deadpan, dead face.
It means the speaker gives you zero physical cues that they are joking. No smile, no joking voice. Their face is completely serious.
This is a nightmare for learners who really rely on tone to understand intent. I could say something completely ridiculous, but if I say it seriously, you might believe me.
And linked to this is self-deprecation.
Right, a big word for a simple concept, making fun of yourself.
In a lot of cultures, you try to make yourself look good.
Yeah.
In English-speaking cultures, we often try to make ourselves look bad to make other people feel comfortable. It's a way to show you're humble.
Right. If I'm cooking and I make a huge mess, I might say, I'm a culinary genius. I could burn water.
I could burn water. Now, a learner might process that literally and think, wait, is that chemically possible? Can water actually burn?
So how do we verify reality without looking stupid?
You need checking phrases. You want to reflect the statement back to them to see if they stick to it. A great one is, you mean.
How does that work?
If someone says, oh, I just love working on Saturdays and look miserable, you say, you mean you actually enjoy it.
And that forces them to break character. They'll usually laugh and say, no, God, no, I hate it.
Another useful tool is as in. It asks for context.
Give us an example of as in.
Someone says, oh, great, Thursday. And you aren't sure if they're happy or being sarcastic. You can ask Thursday, as in tomorrow, or Thursday, as in the best day of the week.
And if they're being sarcastic, they'll roll their eyes and say, as in a total waste of time.
And if you are really, truly lost, just be direct. Wait, are you joking?
It just cuts through the noise. Wait, are you joking? It forces them to reveal their intent.
Simple and very effective.
Now, humor isn't always nice. And that brings us to situation number 5, when the joke feels mean.
Yeah. Sometimes people tease each other, but it can go too far. It can feel like an insult.
This is tricky because there's a lot of pressure on learners to be a good sport. You feel like if you get offended, it's because you didn't understand the culture. But sometimes a jerk is just a jerk.
Exactly. Your English comfort zone includes your right to be respected. You do not have to laugh at an insult. We call this strategy the polite pushback.
I love the idea of a pushback. How do we do that without starting a fight?
The most powerful psychological trick is to ask them to explain the joke.
Why does that work?
Because humor relies on speed. When you force someone to slow down and explain why an insult is funny, it stops being funny. It just becomes awkward for them.
So you'd say something like, A.
Very calmly. I don't quite follow. Could you explain that?
Oh, that is cold. Could you explain that? You're putting the spotlight right on their rudeness.
Another tactic is the literal repetition. Make them say it again. Can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch it.
Most people realize halfway through saying a mean thing the second time that it was a bad idea. It just takes all the energy out of the insult.
And if you want to set a really hard boundary, just use the phrase, I don't appreciate that.
I don't appreciate that. It's professional, it's serious, and it shuts the conversation down.
Exactly.
Okay, let's flip the camera completely. Situation number 6. This is my personal nightmare.
What is it?
You're feeling confident. You tell a joke in English. You wait for the laughter. And
silence. Just crickets chirping.
The tumbleweed rolls by. It is physically painful. You can feel the heat rising in your face.
Okay, first rule, don't panic. The lead balloon happens to everyone. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe the translation just didn't work. It's not a tragedy.
But the silence is so heavy. How do we break it?
We go back to self-deprecation. You have to call out the failure. If you acknowledge the bomb, you fix it.
So what's a good line to save face?
I like the Hollywood approach. Time to fire the writers.
Time to fire the writers? That's clever. It separates you from the joke, like you're playing a character who has bad script writers.
Or just be blunt. I'll shut up now.
I'll shut up now. That usually gets a laugh because it's such an honest reaction to failure.
And the classic comedy club line, wow, tough crowd.
Tough crowd. That playfully shifts the blame to the audience for having no sense of humor.
Yeah.
But you have to say it with a smile, right?
And then this is crucial. Move on immediately. Do not try to explain why it should have been funny. Explaining a joke is like dissecting a frog.
Dissecting a frog.
You understand it better,
Yeah.
but the frog is dead.
That was a great analogy. Just pivot. Use the magic word. Anyway.
Is the delete button of conversation. Anyway, back to what we were saying.
Speaking of anyway, let's look at our final situation. Situation number 7. Awkward silences and fillers.
This is when you don't get the joke or you can't respond, not because of hearing or logic, but because your brain just stopped working. You forgot the word.
The brain freeze. The silence feels so long when you're the one searching for a word. It feels like hours.
You need fillers. These are like verbal loading screens. They tell the listener, please wait. My brain is processing.
Instead of just staring silently, what should we say?
Let me think. Is good. Or how could I say this?
How can I say this? Acts like a signal. It tells the other person, I'm still here, I'm just searching. It keeps the connection alive.
You could also use the description strategy. If you forget the word pineapple, don't stop. Describe it. It's a kind of.
It's a kind of.
It's a kind of fruit. It's yellow.
Spiky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And usually the native speaker will jump in and help. A pineapple, and boom, you're back in the flow.
And I want to remind everyone, native speakers use sounds like and well constantly.
Yes, well is a fantastic sentence starter. It buys you about 2 seconds of thinking time to organize your grammar.
So don't be afraid to make noise while you think. Silence is awkward. Thinking noises are natural. We have covered a massive amount of ground today. We have phrases for when you can't hear, strategies for complex logic, ways to dodge pop culture references, and even how to survive British sarcasm.
It's a full toolbox.
Yeah.
But if you take one thing away from this, I hope it's this. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be honest.
That's the biggest takeaway. It is so much better to say, I didn't catch that, than to fake laugh and realize 5 minutes later you agreed to adopt a cat.
Definitely. Vulnerability is actually a very strong social skill.
That's it for today. We hope these phrases help you feel more comfortable in your next conversation.
You don't need perfect English. You just need something honest.
Thanks for watching, everyone.